If you have looked closely at the entry stairs to that building, they're very narrow. They are in a state of disrepair. The planters that are built into them are falling apart. And really the stairs, they don't reflect the building status as a public building. They're very narrow. They should be significantly wider. The handrails should be changed out. There's some concrete work that is failing behind the stairs at the top. And so that is a request that Public Works made, in the same vein that we would make if the stairs at the library were failing or at Hubbard Park, like we've done over the last several years.
I think what's confusing is, well, for example, the parking lot replacement, I mean, that's outside the building too, but that would be, again, it gets back to what was the scope of the capital project, and so that's where the confusion is, I think.
I assume at this point that, and I apologize for interrupting, I'm kind of looking at it with my DPW glasses, in that I'm just looking at the grounds in the way that I would look at the grounds on any other building. I absolutely understand your point, and if that is something that shakes out later, that this, but I did want to get it in front of you.
Yeah, I'm just questioning where it should be budgeted. We already, where it was included. So the organics program is in this, you said? Is that now?
Organics is a board initiative, so that will be covered outside of the public works discussion.
Good. And I'm just looking for the detail in the back, because it probably answered my question, but we have both for Village Center HVAC rehab and HVAC replacement.
Yeah, correct. Well, that, if you recall, I know that Trustee Rosick and I have had this conversation in the past. The one is to, the 40,000 is to complete the changeover of the condensing units at that building. We have half of them done.
Yeah.
And that would, bring back the existing system into a good operating position, if you want to say. The second request would be to completely replace the HVAC system in that building with a modern system. So they're,
One or the other.
there's one or the
One
other.
is unquote.
Yeah. Because I think we had some conversations in budget and finance previously about all the bills we get. And there was some discussion about at what point is it more, does it make more sense to just scrap it and start?
Do you have any data on, because the reason we were talking about it was the utility costs every time we renew those bills, or it's enormous for that system. Do you have any, that you can provide us before the budget wrap up, just how much we'd save by spending the 300,000 on an annual
We
basis?
can try. I think it would again be a series of educated guesses, but we should certainly try to put something together.
I'm
Yes.
assuming with a new system we'd save. I just want to know what that trade-off is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some indication of what the useful life is. How close are we to being at the end of the existing system's useful life?
Unfortunately, not very close. It's just an upgrade system.
The upgrade due to the savings of utilities, so it's like, well, how much?
I got it.
Some of them are replaced, some parts are newer, some parts aren't. I mean,
Right.
it's got a useful life, we're going to replace it at some point.
Yes.
So I think that goes into the calculus, how much are we going to save, how much does it cost, and regardless, if we don't take the savings now, when is it going to hit?
No, that's a different implementation of cooling practices, for lack of a technical term.
Yes.
Yeah.
My understanding of that system is it basically works like a big ice maker. There's a chiller that makes ice, and then the cold air that is generated from that ice is then blown. And that's what's used to cool the building. In 2002, I think it was thought that that might be the wave of the future, and not really. So.
What do you get for $8,000?
There's 4 condensing units, 5.
There's 4. We replaced 2.
We're ready to
We have to do the 2 other ones.
We have Apparently, they have about a 10-year use estimated life on the condensing.
So purposes of the budget, the 40,000 or the 300 would be either, not both,
Correct.
so we need to revisit
Correct.
which one's going to be in here.
Got it?
Really attention.
What do we get for $8,000 for the elevator in this building?
It's actually the interface between the elevator and the sprinkler system. If they don't play nicely together, then the elevator won't work because it thinks that's the safe and prudent thing to do. So the sprinkler system has been communicating some false messages to the elevator, and then the elevator won't work because it thinks there's a fire.
Sounds like a medical thing
On the streetlight control boxes, aren't those the boxes that we need to replace and they're $50,000 each and we have to keep replacing them?
The first was 50,000, the subsequent we estimate to be somewhat less just because they're in more accessible locations. But yes, those are exactly the boxes in the long-range financial plan.
So why are we not
I think-
budgeting anything?
I think we have those earmarked going forward for odd calendar years.
That'll be the last item on page 126. There's a roll-up of our future 2019 projects.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, that's where the 2019 projects will show up because we're going to bond for those in
Oh,
18.
okay.
So I wanted to try to do a better job of reflecting the budget when we're actually expecting to bond, but yet still reflect that those are going to be 19 implemented. And then the 19 budget will show that they're coming from capital reserves instead of bond proceeds.
For EVA treatments, I know I asked this earlier in the year, I think during long-range financial planning, you said it was going to show up in operating, and it looks like it's in capital now. Is this lower than we normally do on a yearly basis?
Well, from a long-range planning perspective, it's not debt financed. So it's going to be in the operating annual capital budget, not financed by tax levy, not bond proceeds. And as far as how that varies year to year,
In odd calendar years, and in even also. So there's two components to that. In odd calendar years, the whole component is the purchase of product, the chemical that's used, and then the equipment for the injections done by our staff. In even calendar years, that number will have two components, and it will likely be somewhat larger. We do continue to do the injections with our staff in even calendar years, but when there is a major infrastructure project where ash trees are removed, in the past, those charges for the removal and replacement of those ash trees were charged to this line.
correct.
Is there-
Now that it's considered part of the infrastructure improvement as within the right of way. So whatever component cost, and it's street specific, it's very street, we'll figure in what those costs will be, and that's part of the road project, typically is what it is, a road
So it
project.
would show on this line.
No,
It will not show.
Not going forward.
So this
But that's
is
why it
the
looks
total.
smaller.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, this isn't the total, okay. And then, the only other thing I had was two. Leaf collection, I know we talked about reviewing that at some point, it doesn't have to be now, but that is a huge it's more expensive than recycling. And so I just don't know what we didn't have that discussion during the year again.
Well, at the risk of becoming very unpopular,
Yeah.
the easiest way to fix that is to require residents to bag leaves.
Yeah.
But that has not been a popular position in the past, but it is incredibly more efficient
Yes.
to collect bag leaves than bulk leaves at the curb. But that's a policy issue, and it is one this board has taken on previously, not recently, but, yeah.
Are we gonna review, what's the intent, I know I requested we review it, but I don't know, are we gonna do that in 2019? Is that something we can do?
Vacuuming of the leaves?
Well, that-
Bagging leaves
Versus
or-
bagging, just for budgetary discussion.
I think we can talk about it in Public Works Committee and
Yeah.
Okay.
figure out what and when we want to think about.
And then last, from the Conservation Committee had this week on the snow melting machine. I did not get enough, I don't know the cost, I don't know what you guys discussed, but I would like to know a little bit before everybody's on the list, depending on what the information is.
Do you want me to take that one?
You,
Okay. We had a meeting on Monday with staff and our village engineer, as well as 2 representatives from the Conservation Committee. That was one of the options that we talked about for snow dumping. After we talked about some of the environmental impacts of a snow melter and the costs associated with it, we had both of the Conservation Committee reps recommend not to go that direction. Both of them. Which the 2 reps were Josh Ludotori and Don Holland. So.
Sure. Could you forward that cost information so I know how you did the recommendation, but just so we can have
Well,
it.
Joel, do you want to kind of give a summary on
Yeah, I mean,
what you
I
mentioned?
didn't bring the information with me, but we did look at a couple models. They're not real popular in this area, but we're looking at like, I think it was $260,000 to purchase the equipment. And then the real issue with them is they burn a ton of fuel. I think it's like 40 gallons an hour to run one. And with the amount of snow that we move every time we like clear the Oakland Avenue Business District, I figured we move and haul 300 tons of snow. So there was a melting ratio, those kind of things. And I figured we needed to run that machine for 10 hours every time we did it. So that's a ton of fuel at $2 a gallon. And I would need about 10 grand a year just for snow melting fuel
But
in the budget.
do you also have the number for the fuel cost to move the snow?
I didn't do that. I can certainly get that because it's
Thank you.
3 blocks away. So I can
Right, because I mean, you're using the truck,
Yep.
and you're either gonna be heating up the snow and letting it melt into the sewer that goes in the sea, or you're gonna be hauling it. So if you could just get those
sure.
numbers.
You will still have to move it to the mountain.
Yeah,
That's
that's
probably not
I
going
thought-
to do that
There's
on
no
the
delta there, that's a static number.
Oh, I thought the melter was on the truck, no, it's a different spot.
No, I think the ones we were looking at, it's more of a, it's towable, but it's unlikely you would want to do that operation, say in the 4400 block of Oakland Avenue. You still will have to haul that shit a short distance, just,
So
it won't be as much. Your hauling costs will not be what they are, but they won't be eliminated.
Wait, if I could just get those 2 factors in particular, and then what was the solution, or did we talk about that at some point? Or-
There's not a solution yet, but we're working on it. So for the sake of the budget meeting tonight, that's a different policy issue that we'll bring forward to you, but that.
But it won't have any budget impact?
No budget impact, no.
The solution we're going to choose?
Correct.
Atwater stairs for $110,000. That's just to replace the treads and.
That would include replacement of all the treads, repair to any of the steel structure that's necessary, and then, there was some significant erosion issues under the stairs that remain from 2010. And if we
When you
left-
rebuild it, can you have it so there's not as many stairs?
Yeah,
So
that's
you-
right.
we can try. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a question
Sure.
too about the $20,000 for the landscape design for Triangle Park and Atwater Park.
Sure.
It's a
I
Parks
think that's a
Commission
Parks
request.
Commission
I don't
request.
know, Mike is the rep of the Parks Commission. Do you want to handle that? I'd be more than happy to take it. You want me to go ahead? Okay. The Parks Commission reviewed over the last few months some of their, the plan that they put together back in 2015, established what their upcoming priorities are. And the one that they want to propose addressing starting next year is the design of Atwater and Triangle Parks to try to figure a better configuration of how to utilize those 2 spaces. So this would entail having someone come and do an assessment of those two spaces and putting together a proposal that could be implemented the following years.
Like putting up a pavilion.
That's an option to consider, yes, for the designer to consider, correct.
Pavilion, where at water at the
And a central, well, some kind of central terrace look that you could have like an entertainer, like how we typically have at the Fourth of July,
Sure.
but maybe for some other concerts in the park or
Okay.
something like that, that you could do something like that.
So we could put that on the list,
Let's, yeah.
please.
Triangle Park, I know the neighbors there got very nervous when there was discussion about,
That is correct. Yeah, I probably got 6 or so emails when that happened. Talked a lot with them. I think they at first thought something was happening right then and there. I told them this is just the first of many steps in the process. A lot of them just want to be included.